for a lot of traders who are in that awkward position where they are a good trader and they know how to trade, but they're not quite good enough yet that they're able to make consistent profits. A lot of those traders will actually state that the thing that is holding them back is discipline. So a lot of the time when traders are in that awkward stage, they know how to trade. They know how to do technical analysis. They have a strategy that works and they are able to make big wins, but they're not able to hold on to those wins. And they often state that it's their discipline that is holding them back. So in this video, we are going to look at ways to improve your discipline as a trader. If you're excited to learn, hit the thumbs up button before we get started. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to Think Markets now as well.
So the steps that we're going to look at in this video to help you improve your discipline are called name the feeling, but don't act on it. FOMO and impulse trading never feels good. Know the difference between what you want and what's actually possible. Implement some hard rules and stick to them. And also, if you stay right till the end, there is a bonus tip. So make sure you watch this video right through to the end. So first of all, name the feeling, but don't act on it. This is really helpful if you are the sort of trader who makes a really big win and then wants to get back into the market and trades away their win. And then at the end of the day, you realize that if you just stopped after the big win, you would have been profitable overall. You knew how to make that big win, you just didn't know how to have the discipline to stop. So a really useful one for this is to name the feeling, but don't act on it. So the feeling is, I want to get back into the market. I want to make another trade. I want to make another win. Name the feeling, accept that it feels uncomfortable that you can't act on it. I want to make another win. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like there's this urge to keep trading, but I'm not going to act on it. I'm not going to act on it because historically that has not got me what I want. What I want overall is to be a profitable trader. And historically that has not got me what I want. So name the feeling, but don't act on it. Get up from your desk, walk away, and hold on to those profits for dear life. A nice little segue from this one into the next one. The next one is know the difference between what you want and what's actually possible. So a nice little example is on the US 30, which is the market that I trade. The market often makes a big move and then it consolidates. That's very typical for the US 30. For the markets you trade, it might be slightly different, but on the US 30, I know that if I've made a really big win, just because I want to make another win doesn't mean it's what's likely to happen. So I made a big win, I want another one because I'm feeling high off that big win, but what's actually more likely to happen is that the market will consolidate and there's not actually the opportunity to make another big win. So just because I want a win, it doesn't mean I'm going to get one or that it's even possible. Another good example is I know traders who have wanted almost too much from the market. So they've held their trades for too long because they wanted a really big win. But actually, if you use a tool like the ATR, let's go on to the indicators here. And if you just type in ATR, the average true range, this tells you how much the market typically moves in a day. So if you hover your cursor over the last closed candle and you look at the reading on the ATR, can you see it says 512? That tells you that this market moves on average 512 points in a day. So you aiming for 1,000 points on a typical day is delusional. Know the difference between what you want. Yeah, you want 1,000 points, but what is actually possible? It's possible that the market moves around 500. If you've only got into a trade 200 points in, the market's already moved 200 points, then you're looking at around 300 tops. And even then, that's being ambitious and playing it very, very close to the limits. So know the difference between what you want and what's actually possible. Use the facts of what typically happens and base your expectations on those. FOMO and impulse trading never feels good. What this means is that you can make a FOMO trade. You can make an impulse trade. You can hop into the market because you see that the market is making a big move. Let's go back to the 1 minute chart because we have a beautiful example on here. The market did make a really big move. Actually, I'm going to go to the 5 minute chart. If you go to the 5 minute chart, can you see here? The market did make a really big move. Now, this was actually based on fundamental factors. And fundamental factors do change every day. If you just hop into the market, when you see a big move and there was no strategy, there was no clearly defined entry, exit, you weren't following your rules. It doesn't matter if you win, it doesn't matter if you lose. Neither outcome makes you feel good because you cannot replicate that. That does not equal you being a consistently profitable trader. If you FOMO trade and you win, you're still going to feel bad. The only thing that's going to make you feel good and you feel positive about your progression as a trader is if you have a strategy, if you have a set of rules that you follow, and that wins overall more times than it loses. So anytime you're tempted to hop in and FOMO trade or impulse trade, just remember, it doesn't even matter if you win. You're not going to feel good about that. You're not going to be able to replicate it. It's not going to help you at all in the long run. You might be able to make a percent here or there, but you're more likely to trade away your wins. It's not going to get you where you want in the long run. The next thing is you definitely just want to implement some hard rules. So you want to say that you do not move your stop loss. So just because you really want your trade to not hit your stop loss doesn't mean that you should extend it and make it bigger. Let's just put on a little fake position here. So sometimes you do end up getting stopped out on volatility. That just happens. Can you see how if you'd entered in at this point, the market would have gone up, but it got stopped out on volatility? You have to have a set amount of stop loss. And sometimes you accept that if there is a lot of volatility in the market, you might get stopped out, but you can't just move your stop loss indefinitely to accommodate it. Because in this particular instance, yes, if you'd entered in at this point, you would have needed, actually, you'd need quite a lot more than that. Because can you see it spiked all the way down here? 100 points almost on a stop loss, you would have needed that. You cannot be taking a 100-point loss on every trade, because the thing is, in this particular case, this market did end up going in that direction. But for all the other times when it actually was a reversal or it actually wouldn't have worked, moving your stop loss would have done you a lot of harm. Never moving your stop loss and having a very set maximum limit for loss is a really good rule to have. If you're the sort of trader who is used to moving their stop loss, then just implementing this new rule will feel like it takes quite a bit of work, because anytime you're changing a habit, it does feel slightly uncomfortable, and it is something that you have to really consciously think about, and it takes quite a lot of focus. So just be aware that anytime you are changing a habit, it is going to feel uncomfortable. It's not going to feel natural straight away, but just make sure that you pick one thing to focus on at a time, and that you can't change all of your habits at once. So fix a habit until it becomes natural to do the good habit rather than the bad one, and then move on to the next one. And the bonus tip is to keep discipline in all areas of your life, because if you're not disciplined in your personal life, you're not likely to stay disciplined in your trading life. So examples of that is when you set an alarm clock in the morning, wake up when the alarm clock goes off and don't press snooze. Get out of bed, make your bed straight away, and also go to the gym, have enough sleep, drink lots of water, eat healthy. Discipline in your personal life is going to have a knock-on effect in discipline in your trading. So it's really important that if you want to be a disciplined trader, you make sure that you are disciplined in all areas of your life.
So now you understand some ways to improve your discipline as a trader. Let us know in the comments below which one you're going to try implement first. And if you like this video and you got some value out of it, make sure to give it a little thumbs up as well.